Hey, thank you very much for coming by my YouTube site. It's Tori Magoo 44. It is November 16th, and I wanted to talk to you today. This is sort of a serious video. Someone asked me about Scientology's disconnection versus fair game. These two things, in my opinion, are the most destructive things in Scientology. People get into Scientology because they want to better themselves, one way or the other. Either they want to help themselves. I got in it to help other people. That was my intention. I believed it. I thought that's what I could do. I read Dianetics, about 3 chapters, and I thought, this is it. This is a guy. This is who I've been looking for, right? And L. Ron Hubbard, on the other end of it, I got in 69. In 1950, he wrote a book called Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health. Okay, he said in it you could clear your reactive mind. He said you had 2 minds, an analytical mind, a reactive mind. The reactive mind is all the bad things that make you think bad things, do bad things, feel bad, feel safe, feel pain, whatever. The analytical mind is like the critical, sort of like a computer. It gets in things, and you can still feel emotions with the analytical mind, but they're analytical. Do you see what I mean? It's sort of like appropriate, right? Okay, so he said you could erase the reactive mind with all these bad things in it. All right. Now it comes down to the first clear. They're down at the Shrine Auditorium, and it's like he turns around, okay, what's the color of my tie? And you know what? They couldn't remember. And that was sort of the beginning of like, whoa, we're screwed. And my mother and father-in-law were 2 people that were in it back in 1950. They went to all the congresses, followed Hubbard around. They were like big followers of his, right? So were a lot of other people. Okay, so now Hubbard realizes he's screwed, right? There isn't a clear. It didn't work, right? So then he gets into, he's a science fiction writer, no problem. He creates the OT levels, right? Which are operating Satan, with Satan being your spirit. They're basically these top secret levels, right, that he created, and they cost a ton of money, all right? Now, some people right away, the Dianeticists said, no, we're not doing it, we're not buying it, and they were out, right? So Hubbard had to get a little hone on this group of people that had been following him around, right? Because if they went and talked over to these guys over here who'd left, they might find out the facts about what was going down, right? And he didn't want them to know it, right? So he created this thing called a suppressive person. Now, it's not a new thing. I mean, obviously, like Hitler would come under the category of suppressive person. It's someone who holds people down, who, seriously maims or makes worse their life, right? I find it ironic that the 3 Scientologists I sat in a room with the ministers, said, when I asked them, well, why, if your creed says man has the inalienable right to free speech, why can't all of my 30-year friends talk to me? Why can't my husband of 27 years? And she went into, I said, you declare me as suppressive, no one can, you know it. And the minister looked at her and said, well, you don't really declare people suppressive. And she said, well, just a few people. I mean, like Tori, Hitler's a suppressive, and Tori's a suppressive. And at the time, I went, bingo. Okay, perfect. You got, look at me. Me and Hitler. I mean, it was like, oh, perfect. I knew it. I knew it would be perfect, and it was perfect. And then when I brought up, I said, would you like to see? Because first of all, she said, there's only a few. I said, that's a flat-out lie. There are thousands and thousands of people, and this was in 2001 or something, have been declared suppressive. And there's a list on the internet, I said to the ministers. You can go on the internet and read the list of thousands of people and organizations who've been declared suppressive. And I said, would you like to see my SP declare? And when I brought this out, the party was over. I mean, they were so freaked out that A, Scientology would declare someone as suppressive. B, that they would put it in writing, that was it. It was over, game over. They were on my side, not Scientology's, which they walked in being very much on their side. So, he realized he could declare someone as suppressive. No one, it's a high crime, which might not sound like much to most of you, but it's huge in Scientology. You're way demoted, or if you're public, you're taken off of any auditing lines. It's like you have to work your way up all these conditions. You have to get signatures from everyone in the group to allow you back in the group. It's a big deal. So people generally, as soon as someone's declared, that's it. They don't talk to them. Even if they wanted to talk to them, they don't. And so what it does is it does tend to break up families. There's families where kids are in Scientology and they can't talk to their parents. There's parents where they're in Scientology and the kids can't talk to the parents. Do you see what I mean? There's business partners where they were business partners and one of them got in Scientology, the other one didn't. There you go. It's really, really, in my opinion, it's one of their most abusive things. I mean, obviously their medical abuse is horrible. Fair game, where Hubbard said you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly. And they say that was canceled. I believed it was canceled. And he wrote a cancellation thing. But at the very bottom of it, it says this does not apply to suppressive persons, which is me and thousands of other people, right? So it does exist. You can go look on Religious Freedom Watch and see all their black PR, yak, 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 which are like flat out lies about tons of us. And of course they always go around and get the worst picture of you, which they can get of anybody. You can follow someone around and all day long, eventually you're going to get a really creepy picture of them. And, my 5-year-old neighbor said, this is so obvious, it's manipulation. If they can see it, what about everybody else? Most people can. So that's their thing. Also, stopping free speech is a huge abuse of theirs. But to me, it all boils down to the SP Declaration. Because if they didn't declare people suppressive, they could talk to each other, they could find out the facts, and I am confident they would leave. Now, in the old days, someone asked me, what's the difference in disconnection and fair game? When I got in, Hubbard had a thing, don't disconnect. Try to use fair game with someone that's declared suppressive. So, of course, me having epilepsy, they called me in. Well, who's the SP on your lines? You're sick, so you must have someone that you're connected to. And, the only person I could think of that was kind of critical of Scientology was my mom, who was very critical of it because they made me get off my medicine. I was having grand mal seizures, for Christ's sake. And she was like, no, Dianetics is unquestionably not going to help you with that. You need to get back on your medication. And I always will thank her for that. She saved my life. She did. And there is someone who did get off their medication and they're dead to this day, and I'm very sorry about that for that family who lost that loved one. But the point being, okay, so originally it was like most people did fair game, which is good roads, fair weather, just kind of talking about, the weather, we went to the movies, anything but Scientology, right? Because then the people would get into how bad it was or questioning you about it. So that was that. And then at the very end of it, if these people won't calm down and they're really upsetting you, then you could disconnect from them. But it was kind of rare that people disconnected. But now, ever since Hubbard died and Miscavige took over, it is a regular practice. And it may have been even sooner, but I wasn't familiar with it. So if anybody else knows of when it really changed exactly, to me it changed when Miscavige took over. Because that's when I started noticing, well, we're disconnecting. Well, my kid's this, so I'm kicking him out of my house. I'm disconnecting from him. Or, well, they don't like Scientology, so we're just disconnecting from him. And it was like, wow, it really changed to where it's just this horrible, they won't ever talk to you. I mean, if you saw some of the looks that Scientologists give me when I'm out on the street, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, it's worse than a filthy bug. It's just like, ugh. And, to me, I never looked at anyone that way. I didn't. And that's probably why I'm out. Because I don't believe in suppressive people. I really don't. I don't believe in the PTSness, which is anybody who's sick has to be connected to a suppressive person. I don't think that's true either. So, I had my own things. But to me, it is a very destructive thing. And Miscavige, you are pulling in exactly what you deserve for all that you have done breaking up all of these families. And I know personally tons of them. And until you stop that and get rid of it, you are going to get all that you deserve. And I'm confident of it. And that's not a threat. That's karma, baby doll. And it's happening to you right now, every day. And you can scream at these people. You can yell at them. But you know what? It's over. The party is so over for you, it's ridiculous. So all I have to say is read both sides. Don't believe me? Look on the net. Read both sides. Make up your own mind. You can't say that. Neither can any Scientologist in. Because if you read both sides, you would not be in the Church of Scientology. Because it's not really a church. It's a very big con. and it's getting busted wide open. And to every single person who's doing that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for helping expose these abuses. And to the rest of you, have a fantastic day. Peace out, and I will talk to you soon. Good. Let's put the quarters in.
Don't worry about it. Just go.
Huh?
Just go.
All right. Here we are. Hey. How you guys doing?
Good.
You waiting for the bus?
No.
All right. Well, that's good. It's a good day in Los Angeles, downtown. Where are you going?
Going to walk.
Huh?
Going to walk.
You're going to go walk?
No. Walking.
Oh, working. You're working.
It'll be here in about 20 minutes.
You are going to go. You don't have to leave. Remember, freedom is the ability to do what you want to do. Anytime, anywhere. Communication is supposed to be the ability to communicate with anyone, anytime, anywhere. That's Scientology. But you know what? That's really what Scientology is right there. Everybody had to leave. Why? Because the big SP is there. Did I say anything nasty to them? No. I said, where are you going? They have to go. It's Tori Crispin, SP. Your local, friendly SP. There they go. They're off. They're running. They got their orders. Get out of there quick. And did we put the quarters in the car? Because they'll probably be having us arrested if we have.
Arrested.
Okay, so we're here in Hollywood. This is Tori Crispin, local friendly SP, and you just saw a demonstration of basically disconnection. L. Ron Hubbard, someone asked me about good roads, fair weather, or disconnection. L. Ron Hubbard, the Life Exhibition, came up with declaring someone like me or anyone else who's critical of Scientology an SP. And then what happens is they're not allowed to talk to me. So you just saw that where they were all I did was say, what are you guys doing? And he said, working. I thought he said they were going for a walk. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. The Sea Org's going for a walk. Dream on. They don't go for walks. So immediately the other guy got on the cell phone, they gave him the order, get him out of here, and they're all locked inside now. You know, and that's Scientology, that's disconnection. Good roads, fair weather was when I first got in, they decided my mom was an SP for me because I have epilepsy. And so I could either disconnect from her, which I wasn't going to do, or good roads, fair weather, which is where you just talk about bullshit all the time. You never talk about anything that could lead into Scientology. They used to always do the good roads, fair weather, and Hubbard even said the last end of it should be disconnection. But since Miscavige has taken over, they disconnect from people all the time. There's a Sea Org member right now. If there's some kids in there, tell them to call their parents. But it really pisses me off. They have family members that should not be disconnected. You know, children where they can't talk to their parents, or they won't because they feel like they're so evil. And I mean, it's like, come on, it's their parents. It's your mother. If you're listening to this and you're lurking, call your mother, call your father, okay? There you go. And that, L. Ron Hubbard, it should say death exhibition. That's what it should say, death exhibition. Because it is the end of your life. Once you get into it, it's like the Truman Show. If you haven't seen it, watch it, because that is what Scientology is. There you go, your local friendly SP. Thank you very much. Woo! Yeah, sell that freedom. Keep it up. Sell that freedom. Go put up those curtains. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the curtain tech of Scientology. They not only had them locked all in there, they got the curtains up so they can't see you.
How long have we been here? 4 minutes?
I love that. Yeah, we've been here like 4 minutes and the curtain check is up.
Oh, that's wild. That's wild. That's
really wild.
I mean, sometimes they don't put it up for me. I'm kind of.
You're not a declared suppressor.
I'm not. Yeah, not all hardcore. Really. I fall short.
And here we go with the disconnection. Not allowed to sit on their building.
All right.
We're resting.
What's going on?
You're sitting on private property. I'm going to have to ask you to not stand there.
See that?
We're stealing.
Private property.
Honestly, let me ask you this. What's your name?
I'm going to warn you, ma'am, that this is trespassing. Okay? And if you
What
don't,
if we need
you don't
to
move,
sit
I'm going to
down?
have to
This
actually
is a
call the
building.
police.
I want you to wake up and snap
Ma'am, you're
out
going to have
of
to
it.
cross the line. You too?
I'm off the
Good.
line.
Thank you.
I want you to wake up and let the kids inside there talk to their parents that aren't allowed to call them. I'll put my hand out here just to irritate him a little bit more. L. Ron Hubbard wrote a thing called the Manners Policy Letter. And in it, he really talks about how every single person should be respected, right? Now, I wouldn't say that guy was a great demonstration of the Manners PL. And most of the people in here talking to us, and they'll justify it because I'm a suppressive person, but you know what? Nah, it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly for most people, and that's why, DM, you are continually irritating people because you violate those things that are just natural human rights. And so people get ticked off and they go, you know what, let's go picket some more. Just because of your kind of stuff. Just because of that kind of stuff, I'm going to stay a little longer. I was about ready to go home, but you know what? You sent out your little minion to come out here and say, I can't sit on your little property, so we're going to stay a little longer. Maybe you won't be able to go to dinner. There you go.
Okay, here's a Scientology testing center / bookstore, and you can see it's totally empty in here. Nothing going on. With the video action going on there. So, dead. Scientology is dead.
Okay, so that was our video. Drew and I did it together. It was a lot of fun, but it is a very serious subject, as you can imagine. There's many, many parents that call me whose children will not talk to them at all. And you have to understand, when I say disconnection, I mean at all. You saw those Sea Org guys? That's just like 1/100th of what it is for children when they disconnect from their parents, or parents when they disconnect from their kids. For the same reason. Anybody critical of Scientology, that often happens. If you're declared suppressive, forget it. You saw those guys run off? That was because they're talking to an SP. That's why. They can't do that. And it's really, really destructive, and it's really, really horrible. If you're lurking and you're watching this, I really ask you to call your parents, talk to your parents. It can be a very private thing. You don't have to let anybody know you did it, but they are your parents, so call them. Don't disconnect. And the good roads, fair weather, that's totally bogus also. So, you know, move along, reconnect with your parents, get back to living your life. Not Scientology's life, because believe me, they don't really care. They're using you, and that's the truth of it. Look and read Blown for Good at blownforgood.com, and he will explain it all to you. This is him right now. I gotta go. Bye.